Hi, everyone. How are you? So, thanks for joining me this afternoon. So, let's see, where should we start? So, I'm going to show you how to copy paint color schemes that you find and that you love. We normally, right, the way normal people do do it is they take a fan deck and they flip through the fan deck and then they hold up the different leaves, like you're holding up a fan deck and you're trying to match it, and that's the hard way. If you're flipping through a fan deck in the year 2022, you need to stay with me because we need to talk. I need to tell you some stuff that's going to make it way easier. I'm going to click on comments over there to make sure that I don't miss anybody's comments. You can comment, by the way, and I can see them. I'm kind of settled in this whole process, settled down quite a bit. I think this is the 5th or 6th video that I've done. It's the second one where I'm using the top-down camera, so you're going to be able to see everything as I do it at the same time that you can see me talking. So, and I have notes, and one just fell off of my monitor. Hey, everyone. People are slowly joining. Just to recap, because we have a few more people on since I clicked live, I'm going to show you how to copy a color scheme. If you come across some colors that you love, instead of holding up a fan deck, there is a much easier way to do it. I don't know if it's faster, but I think it is faster. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think about that, if it's faster or not. It's just easier because you can get in, measure the colors with your device. As you guys know, I like the Spectra 1 Pro, and get out. And I kind of had to do that when we came across these colors. So let me start by telling you how I found the colors. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see the building that Jake and I drove by. And I drive by this building all the time. And every time we go by it, I say, those are really pretty colors. And I hope I can share the tab. Where is it? And anyway, I think it's right here. We'll try it. Let's see what we get. And that's not it. But every time I drive by this building, I tell Jacob, you can see my desktop here. Hi, everyone. I always have a tissue. Let me get rid of my tissue. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm not sure why I can't get this window up. I'm going to work on that while I'm trying to talk at the same time. Every time we drive by the building, I tell Jacob, I say, that is so pretty. Whoever did those colors did a really great job, because it's just so attractive. And there's a lot of contrast. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to share my screen today, you guys. Give me just 1 second. I don't know why it won't. I'm not going to share my entire screen. You guys don't want to see do you guys have like a bunch of tabs open at once and like all kinds of folders and files on your desktop? Yeah, you guys don't need to see that. You guys don't want to see that. I don't know why I can't share the window. And I'm going to keep working on it. This is the trials and tribulations of going live. You just never know what's going to happen. And I think I know why. Give me 1 second. And I'm going to go about it a little differently here. I had this all set up, and I was just saying I finally had a handle on this, and it was getting so much better. And here we are, trying to figure out why Lori can't share her screen really quickly. And I figured it out. See, I didn't have it open on the same thing. So I can share the building that I'm talking about. You guys see it now? Okay. And we are just going to share it like this. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, StreamYard. It just takes a little patience and a couple clicks, and we get there. Hey, in the interim, at least it gave you guys some time to post some comments and ask some questions. Happy to answer. Hey, Rob, what kind of camera is that? I work with finishes and it's always tough to share a photo. What kind of camera do I have? I use an Anker. I have two Anker. Anker is what they're called. And I love them because they have AI focus feature, artificial intelligence focus feature. So when I share my desktop, it focuses really quickly. So and I tend to move around a lot. I fidget. I talk fast and I fidget. Sorry. And the cameras can keep up with me. So I like them. And they're not very expensive. You can get really expensive into the tech for going live, for live streaming, but they're both Anchors. One is a C300 and the other one is a C302. So that's the kind of cameras I'm doing. Okay, so now here's the building I was telling you guys about that I drive by all the time. It's on 107th Avenue in Phoenix, if you're curious, in Avondale to be specific. And so on Sunday afternoon, I told Jake, I said, hey, pull over. I want to go snag those colors. And of course, I have my Spectra with me. So we did some stories on Instagram, walking you through how we measured them. And I told you that I would follow up today in the live and tell you what the results were, what the colors were. So here in Phoenix, we're really lucky because we have all kinds of stuff available to us. Like every brand of paint, I think you can get it. You might have to drive a little bit sometimes, but it's close, right? It's possible. And the four major ones in Metro Phoenix that you're going to find contractors using all the time and builders using are Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams, Dunn Edwards, and PPG. And I can't say that any one is any more popular than the other. If I had to, I'd probably say most contractors go for Dunn Edwards just because they have a local hub here. And, you know, it is fantastic paint. They have a beautiful palette. But really, I come across people who want to use all four brands. And PPG is pretty popular here too. We have some really great PPG stores. And that's kind of a brand that's off the beaten path. It's really kind of contractor centric, but they have a gorgeous palette. So yeah, I'm a happy camper. Really happy camper here in Phoenix because we have so many choices. But I couldn't tell you what brand of paint was used on this building. And so I kind of come at it from the color DNA perspective, the color data values perspective, and whatever color I find that's the closest in whatever brand that is, then that's the brand I would recommend. And if you want to try doing the color match thing on your own, if you are my client or my painter contractor client, I would say, here's all the information and that's up to you. If you can find a color match and you test it and you're happy with the samples, then that's the only thing that matters, is that you're happy. So this is the building, and you can see if I can go like this. And now you can see my desktop, and that little bit of fuzz there in the corner of my iPad is the chandelier. It's the reflection of my chandelier. So sorry. So I'm going to show you something really cool. Now, I had my phone and not my iPad with me. So these aren't the actual numbers from where we scanned the colors on the building. But if you tap in the little three dots in the upper corner, you get a view compare history. I don't know if you guys can see that. My logo is right in the way. Let me line it up. So down here it says view compare history. And when I tap on that, you can see all of the scans that you have taken when you use the compare feature. And then all you have to do is tap on it and it brings back your whole work window from when you measured those colors. So this is a really amazing feature on the Spectra 1 app from Variable. So this app goes with these devices, right? The Spectra devices. I actually just got an email from Variable today because I had been asking them some questions about their metamerism feature, which is another feature I love in the app. And Penn actually told me that an update to the Spectra app is coming. And they also have an update coming for the new Color Muse app the Color Muse 2. Do I have one sitting here? I must have put it away. I don't know where my Color Muse 2 is, but you guys have seen that before. I've showed it to you before. So they're updating that app later this week or next week, I think he said, but it's coming. And users of the Color Muse 2, if you've gotten a new one, you know that there are a couple bugs that they still need to work out in the app, and I think that's coming. So with the app, when we scan the colors, I didn't have to worry about writing them down when we were there on the site and anything. We just took some quick scans because I knew it would be in my compare history, and that's where I pulled the numbers when I got back here. Because when I'm going to stop sharing this because there's nothing to show you right now. Hey everyone, we have more people joining. So if you're just hopping on, I'm talking about how you can copy a color scheme from a building or a room without flipping through a fan deck. We're using the Spectra 1. I use the Spectra 1 to measure colors on a building that I've admired for a long time. It's really pretty. So after we did that, we were on site and we were there for a couple minutes because, like I said, I was doing stories for Instagram, letting you guys know what we were up to and that I was going to talk about this today, give you the actual color names today. And the security guard popped her head out. She's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Because, it's like, what are you people doing? Like standing right up against the wall. And he's, Jacob was with me and he's holding this little black thing. It would make you ask what the heck is going on for sure. So she popped her head out. And so I explained it to her and she didn't really understand it, but I told her it was, about the paint colors. I love the paint colors. I wanted to get them and I was doing an Instagram live. She goes, "Okay, whatever." She goes, "But I'd appreciate it if you would, move along sooner than later." So we kind of did have to get in and get out. And again, if I had a fan deck, I know I would have been able to get all three of these colors to share with you today. But because we were able to measure them quickly, we got in, we got out. Actually, the lighter color that I'm going to show you, I would have liked to had a couple more scans because a couple of them weren't good. I only have one set of good numbers for the lighter color, but I was able to get it. So that's what we did. So scanned them. All the numbers are in my compare history in the app. I get back here. How I do it is I like to do a multi-point averaging. So I open up an Excel spreadsheet and I record all the data values from the app. And if you want to, I'll show you those. 092. I have to get in here. I'll show you which numbers I pull from the app and I put into an Excel spreadsheet so it can do an average for me. So, for example, I'm going to share, go this way again so you guys can see my iPad. And we'll get really close and see if I can get my chandelier out of there. I should turn my chandelier off. I didn't think about that till just now. I have so many lights. I have pot lights, I have a chandelier, I have a big window, I have my little lamp behind me. It's a lot of light, but I like it all lit up. But here's the app, and let me slide the window the right way. And I always use LCH numbers. So it's the second little window in the work window of the app. And these are the numbers that I pull, L, C, and H. And I pull those numbers for every scan that we do, drop them into an Excel spreadsheet, let the Excel spreadsheet do the averaging for me. So if we go back to the photo of the building that we're talking about, I have three colors, right? The dark one, the mid-tone, and the light one. So let's start with the dark one and talk about which colors I landed on. So the average for the dark color was a lightness value of 35.5 and a chromaticity of 5.8 and a hue angle of about 91 degrees. So that was the average. So I go over to the DNA table, the color DNA table, and we're going to do that now too. And let me get there and share that screen with you. And so you guys know what the building looks like. I'm going to stop sharing that and we're going to go to the paint color DNA table. And again, let's hope I'm able to do this correctly. And this one's easy. See, I'm getting this down, you guys. This is just easier than falling off a log anymore for me, kind of, mostly. And let's share it this way. So we are on the paint color DNA table. Well, now it's too small for you guys. So what else can we do? What if I do it this way? No, I don't like that one either. See, I have all kinds of choices. Let's see if I can do it this way. Nope, don't like that one. But hey, you can see me. Which one do we want to do? I guess we're just going to do this one. And try not to be too distracted by the second camera. Actually, I can do that. There, we'll do that. So we're on the paint color DNA table, and I have to go over there myself. And I'm going to show you how I use the filters to drill down on these three colors. So the dark color had an average of 35 for lightness, 5.8 for a chroma, and 91 for hue angle. If you click on this tab, it's the accordion tab, and I show you all of the operations that you can do in the filters of the table. This is my favorite one. This operation gives you results between your target number and your second target number, including both of them. Or you can choose to exclude those. So you can just say between 5 and 10 and not include 5 and 10, but I always include my target numbers. So that's the operation I use most of the time in the table. So let's start with lightness. And so we start by entering a greater than and less than sign, and then I input the ampersands. And then this is where I do the equal sign because I want to include my number. And it's going to be 35 to 45 for a lightness value for this darker color that we saw in the building. So let me tell you why I always do a range. And this is why it's different from the apps and from Easy RGB. Instead of using a single number, like the measurement for the lightness value on the building, one of the scans was 33.33. Instead of getting drilled down and all wrapped around the axle, to the second decimal point, I search in a range because I like to shop colors. Because yes, that building was an inspiration for me, but there's the factor of color mojo and your own designer aesthetic. And maybe that color, I found it a little too yellow. I'd like a little more blue in that green. So I like to have the option. So that's why I like to shop a range. And you can shop a range of colors on the color DNA table. And that's what we're doing. So yeah, I like, the darkness of that darker green color was gorgeous. But let me see what's available in different brands. What are all the options? So that's why I'm searching lightness between 35 and 45. So that's what this filter is going to do for me. As soon as I click over here, you're going to see that the table grays out. That tells you that it's sorting out all of the paint colors from all of these brands. Like I have a bunch of the brands in here. It's sorting the colors from all of these brands and it's only showing you the colors with a lightness value between 35 and 45. So that's what it looks like at this point. I'm going to drill down another step to get to my color by using a filter in chroma and a range again. So it's greater than, less than. And then I go back and input the ampersands, and I went too far. Then the ampersands. And now I'm going to input my range. So I went up between 5 and 7. And as soon as I click it, it's going to turn gray. And now the table has filtered out and is only shown has filtered and is now only showing me colors with a lightness value between 35 and 45 and a chroma value between 5 and 7. And now I'm going to go do hue. And the hue range I chose because these were measuring between 90, I had 91, 93, I had 100 for some of the measurements for those colors. So my hue range that I've decided on is between 90 and 105. So I do greater than, less than, go back, put in the ampersands, and I put in an equal sign because I want to include 90 degrees to 105 degrees. Now when I click on it, that third filter is applied. And these are the only options. Out of all of the paint brands in the paint color DNA table, these are the only colors that align with that dark green color that I saw on the inspiration building. Now there is no way you could, sorry, my hair is like really hot. It's hot in here. This is my hair, by the way. People have asked me before because I usually have it in a bun. It's like, is that your hair? Is that the real color? It's like, this is my hair. Yeah, it is. And it's not curly. I curled it. But there is no way you could search through a Benjamin Moore deck, the Egos brand fan deck, the PPG fan deck, the Sherwin-Williams fan deck, backdrop, Bear. There's no way you could, Valspar. There's no way you could search through all of these colors. I shouldn't have said Bear and Valspar because I don't have them in the table right now. But Benjamin Moore, Pittsburgh Paints, Dunn Edwards, there's no way you could have searched through all of those fan decks standing at the side of that building. Number one, it was 110 degrees out when we did it yesterday. And, I had the security person saying, hey, what are you doing here and can you leave? So there's, it's just not feasible. And even if you did have the time and space to do this, do you want to flip through 5 fan decks trying to find that dark green? You know what I mean? It's just not feasible to do it the antiquated analog way. It's just not feasible. That's why you have to understand how to use the color data values and the modern color tools that we have available. It's just, it's time. It's time you catch up. If you haven't already caught up, it's not too late, right? Just go to campchroma.com, sign up for my course. I'll tell you everything you need to know. We go deep. Like there's nothing about color science and how it applies to the built environment and how you can leverage it. There's nothing about that process that I don't tell you in Camp Chroma. I don't hold anything back. And I've summarized it for you, right? So I only tell you what you absolutely need to know. So you can sit at any table with anyone in the paint and color industry and hold your own when it comes to the color science. And, confidently back up your opinions and your color aesthetic. It's just, you will be a force to be reckoned with. Color strategists are a force to be reckoned with in the architectural coating space. They are, because we know what's up. The most modern, most current approach to color, this is it. So when I pulled up all of these colors, and I could shop them, I'm familiar with some of them, right? I'm familiar with Dragon's Breath. It's a beautiful color from Benjamin Moore. And actually Dakota Woods Green. And I'm familiar with these dark greens because dark greens have been on trend interior as well, especially for cabinets. So the Egos brand actually uses a color palette called Color Is from the Color Guild. And you can find these colors and these color numbers in, I think it's Miller Paint and Diamond Vogel and Kelly Moore. Kelly Moore uses the Color Guild palette, but they've customized the names and numbers, but the colors are the Color Guild colors. So, and then we have 2 plunge pool colors here at the bottom from PPG, and that's because they've changed their number system. And so I have both of them in there. I'm not sure which set is the correct ones, but we'll figure that out later sometime. The paint color DNA table is always evolving and updating because I'm in here using it a million times a day. This is an example. When I shopped for the dark green, the top 3 that came up were actually all four, the top four are all really good options from Benjamin Moore. But Aegean Olive, when I pulled it, I'm like, yeah, that's the one I would do. That's the one I would do. And then that set me on the track, on the path for the next two colors. And let me show you why. Let me move my iPad. Okay, so it's Aegean Olive. So, and it's $14.91. So I pulled the strip, and I'm not sharing my second camera right now. I'll just hold it up. So this is the strip from Benjamin Moore with Aegean Olive on it. So now I'm going to go search for the lightest color. And I'm going to do the lightest color next because it has the same chroma range. So I don't have to enter the operation again. So for the lightest color, the lightness value range I want to search in is 75 to 80 because that's the average. I wasn't the average because I only got a couple scans for the lighter color. That's pretty much what I ended up with from the few scans I was able to get of the lighter color. So I'm just going to change the lightness range. I'm leaving the chroma range the same, and I'm also leaving the hue range the same because I want the subsequent colors to relate to the first color I decided on, which was Aegean Olive. So I want the light color and the mid-tone color to be from the same hue family range because they'll go together, right? That's where color harmony comes from, is color relationships. So if you're using colors from the same hue family range, you have color harmony. They're guaranteed to go together. There's no question. There's no trading it out under different light sources or, holding it up and comparing it, or it doesn't matter if you hold it vertically or horizontally. If it's in the same hue family range, according to its factual color data values, there it is. They relate. They have the same DNA. Period. End of story. Can you color by numbers alone? No. You can if you're kind of crazy and, if you're kind of crazy and living on the edge, you might be able to color by the numbers, but I can't do that. I still, even though I have so much confidence in the data values and what they're telling me, I still sample colors. And I like mighty boards, by the way. If you're going to paint, if you like to paint the samples or if you have to paint the samples, because sometimes, you're on site, you choose the colors, you need to get the samples to them the next day. You're going back to, take another look or finish the consultation. You can't wait to get sample eyes stickers all the time. So I like mighty boards. They're in all of the stores around here in Phoenix, so I can get them easily. So even though I have 1,000% confidence in these numbers, I'm still painting samples. We're still taking a look at it because, we have those tools. It's an option. Why not use it? But if you're in a pickle and you just can't, at least you have the reassurance from the numbers to fall back on, and you can, hold on to that and know the color DNA lines up. So I know the color DNA lines up. So you can sleep at night. Literally is what it does. It just helps you sleep at night with your color decisions. So I've entered these new values for the lighter color. I'm going to click on the table, it grays out, and now it shows me all of these results. So we have some Dunn Edwards color. We have a Faro and Ball. I almost said Facebook because it's FB, but it's Faro and Ball. This is Magnolia Home, another PPG color, and a couple Sherwin-Williams colors. So for this lighter color, we have quite a few options. But since I already made a decision about Aegean teal, look what I have here. What came up was brushed aluminum and winterwood, which are $14.85 and $14.86. It's on the same strip as Aegean teal. That's a good thing. Usually, but you can't count on it. So the only reason why it's a good thing in this case is because I have the color DNA telling me that, yes, all of these colors on this strip, or at least three of these colors on this strip, 3 or 4 of these colors on the strip, are from the same hue family. That's not always true for every strip. And I've said it before, you can trust the paint store. You can trust the color tools from the paint brands, but you need to verify. And so yeah, this is an instance of, it looks like they're all from the same hue family, but we're able to verify with the DNA values. So the one I would choose for the lighter color from our inspiration building would be the Aegean olive for the darker color. And I would do the lightest one to get the maximum contrast. I think I spit again. Sorry, you guys. The braces thing, the struggle is real. I would do the lightest one, which is brushed aluminum, but I would also test winterwood. I know what I would do, right? I would absolutely do brushed aluminum with Aegean teal to get the most contrast. But you could also test winterwood if brushed aluminum was showing up too white and too light, because I can tell you what, here in Phoenix, with the quality of light that we have, it is possible that brushed aluminum could look too white, not have enough chroma, because sunlight strips chromaticity from colors. So I would definitely have winterwood in my back pocket. So 2 of the colors from our inspiration building are done and down, right? What is it? Done and dusted? Done and dusted. Now we have to find the midtone color. So for the midtone color, the average for lightness was 66.8. So I'm going to change the lightness range for the midtone color to 65 to 70. And the chromaticity value for the midtone color was different. The average came out to 9.9. So I'm going to shop a chroma range for this color of between 8 and 10. Because again, the average for the midtone color was 9.9. And I like to shop a range. I like a range. And I'm leaving the hue angle alone because, again, we want that thread of color relationship to guarantee some color harmony. And when I clicked it, the table filtered out all of the colors that don't fit into these parameters that we input for LCH. And now I have my list of midtone colors that align with the measurements I took from the building. And Shaggy Barked from Dunn Edwards popped up first. This is the second Dunn Edwards color that we've gotten. So it's possible that the brand of paint on that building is Dunn Edwards or Benjamin Moore. Because if you notice, we have a few Sherwin-Williams colors, but for the dark green, I don't think there were any Sherwin-Williams colors. So that's, that's part of the analysis you can get into. It's like, I wonder what paint brand. You can sometimes guess what paint brand was used based on the results that pop up. At least the odds are, right? The odds are that this was probably Dunn Edwards paint, and that dark green could very well have been a custom color. But if you're someplace that doesn't have Dunn Edwards, or if you prefer Benjamin Moore or Sherwin-Williams, you can figure it out. I'm choosing to go with Benjamin Moore for this example because it was the path of least resistance. And I like Aegean olive, really. Aegean olive, it's like really pretty. So we're going with that. So that's how I decided on Benjamin Moore for this example. But you have so many, but you guys understand, you can see how it's flexible and how this whole framework is so elastic. And there's so many places for you to interject your own color mojo or your own boundaries and parameters that you have to, whatever restraints you have to work within, be it a specific paint brand. There's so much room in here for you to tweak it and get to where you need to be with the product that you need to use. It's not static. This isn't prescriptive. This isn't formulaic in any way. It's just a framework. I like to say that it's a framework for the creative eye. It's very supportive to the creative factor of color because it's not formulaic. You just have to understand the numbers and how to leverage the numbers, which I would choose to do all day, every day, over flipping through a stack of samples or a fan deck. You get really efficient at this very quickly, by the way. I'm going slowly because I'm taking you guys with me. But when I got home here and I entered all of these averages, number one, I was dying to see what colors came up, right? I couldn't wait to get home to shop the colors. But, I had this done and decided on in less than 10 minutes. It took us less than 5 minutes to scan the colors, 10 minutes to input the numbers into Excel, and then go shop colors. It took no time at all. If you're doing this the old-fashioned analog way, I mean, you're in for, at the very least, a half an hour, more like probably an hour, hour and a half. So for the mid-tone color, I noticed that Herbal Escape was number 2 here, and the number is 1487. Wow, what a coincidence, but not really, because we're doing the DNA ranges. Not a coincidence that Herbal Escape is also on the same strip as Aegean Olive. So we have Aegean Olive, you have Herbal Escape, we have Brushed Aluminum. And from here, right, when I was saying that there's flexibility, and this is an elastic framework to work within, now that you have it drilled down to the strip, you can make some other choices. Like I would also get a sample of Sage Mountain. And so let's start over. Okay, so we're drilled down to the strip. We got to here. It's like, great. 10 minutes later, I know exactly what colors are on that building. Aegean Olive is for sure. I would get Sage Mountain and Herbal Escape, Winterwood, and Brushed Aluminum. And I would test those 5 colors. And it would be what I'd be looking for, because I know they all go together. So it's not a hue family issue, right? We're not looking to see if the colors go together, because we know that. It's going to be an issue of contrast. And is Brushed Aluminum going to be too washed out here in the Phoenix sun? Am I going to need a little more chromaticity with Winterwood? That's what I'd be looking for between these two, because both are going to give me nice contrast to Aegean Olive. The second thing I'm looking for is between Herbal Escape and Sage Mountain, and the contrast between, and how it fills in that contrast gap between Aegean Olive and whatever the lightest color is that I choose. But my gut's telling me what I would choose would be Aegean Olive, Sage Mountain, and Brushed Aluminum, because I think that would give me the greatest contrast ratio between those 3 colors. And I like a lot of contrast. If you're going to use 3 colors, go in, right? Go for it. And the next step after that, after I decided on, Sage Mountain and Winterwood and Aegean Olive, I would go to the LRV Guru app, and I would enter the LRV values, and I would take a look at what the contrast ratio was between all 3 of those colors. And LRV is another thing I wanted to talk about, because ranges, right? Ranges are really important when you're using color data values. It's important to look at colors to make it's important to use a range to shop. There's another way to put it. You're shopping paint colors, and the best way to do it is with a range. And the only place you can do that is in the paint color DNA table. The apps aren't going to do that for you. Easy RGB, you can't go do that there. And that's why I made the table, because that wasn't what I needed. That's not what I wanted. I'm going to change this, and I'm going to go to StreamYard, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can just now talk, because we're done doing all the hard work. You have to have a range. A single number, matching on a single data value, a single number, it's not enough. It's not enough. You need the range and the flexibility of the framework to, correlate with your color sensibilities. That's the only, and those tools didn't have that for me. And that might be why, actually, now that I think about it, talking to you guys, That might be why so many people think that the numbers and colors are just so restrictive and so, constraining. And I think it's because they don't understand the concept of a range of data values, not a data value, but a range. And I see that a lot with light reflectance values, right? On blogs, on videos, people are talking about right now Chantilly lace. Benjamin Moore updated their website, and the LRV for Chantilly lace went from 92.2 on the website to 90.4. So people are like, why did it get darker? What happened? It probably didn't get darker, guys, right? I have an older fan deck from Benjamin Moore. It's probably at least 8 years old, 10 years old, the old Off-White's mini fan deck. And in there, Chantilly lace has an LRV of 90. So it went from 92 to 90. No, wait, it went from 90 to 92 and then back to 90. Did the formula change? I seriously doubt it. It's more like math. Like whoever did it or whatever program they're now using to spit out the LRV number, that probably changed. It's not that the last thing I would think is that Chantilly lace changed, that the color Chantilly lace is now different just because of the LRV number. And I've mentioned this before, LRV is super controversial in color science world. And this is a good example of why. It's like, well, how did you calculate LRV? Because they're not measuring a color, right? Paint brands aren't painting out all of their colors, then taking a spectrophotometer, the right kind of spectrophotometer with the right kind of geometry, and measuring all 3,500 of their colors for LRV, right? That's not happening. It's happening in theoretical color space. It's math. It's being calculated based on LAB values. So it could be just a matter of, last time they used 2 decimal points, and the time that they got 92.2, they only used 1 decimal point or no decimal point. It's just a matter of math, because 90 to 92 isn't a big leap when you're talking about LRV. Differences in LRV really aren't noticeable, in my opinion, just by looking at it, until you get over 5. A difference of at least 5 in LRV, you're not going to see a difference. And there's absolutely no point. It's not rational to talk about LRV and comparing it from 90.4 to 92.2. It's not reasonable. It doesn't matter. It's, Chantilly lace is a bright white and it reflects a lot of light, more light than most colors. That's what LRV is telling you. So getting down into the minutia of the decimal points of LRV, that's not the way you do it. It's a range. You want a range. So as Chantilly lace is the example, it has a range, an LRV range, somewhere between 90 and 92. That's rational. That's a reasonable way to use the LRV value. Reasonably informative there. And we have other data values to help us fill in where to help us fill in all of the blanks. So you need all 4. You need hue, value, chroma, and LRV. You need all 4 because they all support each other. They're all interrelated. They're all inextricably tied. And you need it to get the entire picture of a paint color. You can't just pick one of those data values and hang your hat on it all by itself. You can't just hang your hat on LRV. It's not strong enough to hold your hat up. It needs the support of hue, value, and chroma too. And that's why it's called the 4 pillars of color. That's why I called my course the 4 pillars of color. Hey, Carolyn Strauss. I'm very impressed with your color knowledge. Aren't she just like the nicest lady? Thank you very much. That's why I'm doing the lives. We need to talk more about this because more people need to know what color data values are and how easy they are to access them. Thanks again, Carolyn. That was very sweet for you leaving that comment. And I'm going to get better at this live thing. Whew. The first 4 was all about the technology, but I think I got a handle on it. I also didn't do any caffeine today because, like I said, I fidget and I talk fast. And I kind of decided that I don't need to drink a big giant iced tea before I come on here to talk to you guys because it just makes all of that worse. Energy is not a problem for me. I gotta try to kind of keep it in there most days. I can be a lot. I'm a lot. I can be too much for some people, but I appreciate everyone who does join my live and hang in there with me. And I hope you find value in this, and I hope you found it helpful. So I don't know. Do I need to do a recap to summarize what we talked about with the inspiration building? The three colors I would go with were Aegean olive, probably sage mountain, and brushed aluminum. That's what I would do to get that look. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. If you get stuck in the paint color DNA table, which is free, by the way, I'm happy to answer those questions. Send me a DM or an email from wherever you're watching this live stream. Oops, I got a couple questions. What is the scanner machine called? The scanner machine, Carolyn, my favorite is the Spectro One Pro from Variable. It's about $300. They have a regular Spectro. They're different. Spectro One and Spectro One Pro are two different devices. Spectro One is specularity excluded. So it doesn't, you need to you get the Spectro One if you only measure matte finishes. If you're going to measure shiny stuff like tile, you want to get the Spectro One Pro because it has specularity included. There's a difference. They're the same price. It just depends on what your workflow includes. I normally use the Spectro One Pro. What's most important is that you choose a device and you stick with it and you stay consistent. Consistency ranges, right, is the number one thing to remember when it comes to using data values. Consistency is number two. You got to do it the same way every time. It's about a process, it's about a system, and it's about repeatability. Pick your device and use it. It's Spectro. I know, you probably can't understand me. The braces, like I said, the struggle is real. It's a Spectro One Pro from Variable Ink. I will put my affiliate link because I am an affiliate for Variable. I'll include that in my comments. Who makes it? It's Variable. Variable. Okay. All right. Any other questions? I don't think so. But again, if you guys think of anything, or if you're watching this at a later date, you can just, ask me in the comments or send me an email. I can't do the hair down. I got to put it in a bun. I normally have it all wrapped up like this, you guys, because it is just so freaking hot here. Oh, that's what I'm going to go do. And dinner. So what else do I want to say? I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you again later this week. So it has been 48 minutes, our longest live ever. And I had a lot of people stick with me. So thanks. Thanks a lot. I'm just giving you kind of dragging this out to make sure I'm not missing any more questions. Because I'll stay for questions, but I think we're good. I am going to go. So I don't want to cut anybody off. I'm going to go now. I'll talk to you later. Bye. I got to put my hair down because I got a picture for the thumbnail before I go. That's why I always go or something at the end. I'll see ya.